When I was in my middle teens, my mother was diagnosed as being asthmatic, and at that point it was related to air quality in the city we're living in Britain. That really motivated me to want to understand how degraded air quality influenced human health, but also other aspects of the environment, including the climate. 10 years ago, we couldn't measure these 3 nanometer particles, so the instrumentation has evolved to the point where we can really now capture these particles just as they nucleate. And so it's really a time that's terribly exciting, with new instrumentation becoming available that we can use to really address these fundamental questions. Nucleation is a process by which a cluster of gas molecules transforms to become particles. During the field experiment as a whole, as I said, we had measurements here in Bloomington on campus, measurements up in Indianapolis, and measurements at the Central Tower facility. We were measuring the size distribution, so the sizes of the different particles that were forming with our continuous measurements. We also, on the tower, deployed instrumentation that allowed us to capture those particles and then chemically analyze them, both here at Indiana for the inorganic species, so ammonium, sulfate, nitrate, but also at Washington State University, where they'll analyze the particles in terms of their organic content, so what are they made of. On the tower we also had some ammonia instruments because the ammonia may be a key gas in this process. So we had instrumentation on the tower so that we could be looking really at the heights where we believe nucleation was occurring. And we also had measurements on the ground where simply the instruments are too massive to put them on the tower. So that included our sulfuric acid analyzer and also an analyzer from another group here at IU that measures what we call OH. Very early on I knew I wanted to be an academic because I think one of the key roles we can play is educate the next generation of geoscientists, and I think that's a really key consideration for me in terms of what I do.